How much is your mistaken identity costing you? Hi, it's Doug Dane, and too many people struggle in their life because of their mistaken identity. I think life can actually be a lot simpler than it is. If you don't feel confident to succeed or solve your problems, it's likely your mistaken identity may be causing you problems. And so my book explains your mistaken identity, why you make the mistakes you do, so you can rid yourself of that and really start to turn your life around. So here's a daily tip so you can live better and make no mistake, you deserve better. So your mistaken identity is costing you a lot and it's holding you back. You've got a mistaken identity and possibly the wrong concept of yourself, or worse, maybe you've got a poor opinion of yourself. You have this identity crisis that you're going through. So if you're feeling in conflict, if you're feeling fearful and doubtful, you're probably suffering from an identity crisis because you've got this mistaken identity. And think of the mistakes you make because you don't believe in yourself, or you doubt yourself, or if you don't believe in yourself, you might be living in fear and suffering from procrastination. You're afraid to make moves. You might be suffering from an imposter syndrome, which causes self-sabotage or sabotaging your success. Just when things start to get better and look better and you start to feel better, you sabotage yourself in some way. So here's what your mistaken identity might be costing you. You could likely be earning a lot more money in your business, and or you're way more valuable to your customers and to your company that you're working for. Likely, whatever it is you're doing now, you are worth a lot more. But you're mistaken about your true value, true worth, and you're discounting yourself, which is a really big mistake. And so the biggest thing this is costing people is the ability to enjoy more time and money freedom. And I'm not talking about 10xing your income and making $1 million or anything like that. I'm just talking within reason. You might be making, I don't know, $80,000 a year right now, or $280,000 a year right now. Whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're earning, your mistaken identity is costing you, because you could be doing better. You could be doing better in your business. You could be earning more. You could be selling your services in your career to a better position within your company or a better position within your industry. So this mistaken identity is costing you a lot of money. Think about what it's costing you in your health and your well-being. Maybe you're unhealthy physically, and maybe you're unhealthy mentally and emotionally, and think about what that costs you. It costs you sleep, it costs you energy, it costs you time because you're stuck in negative emotions and just not feeling good. You might be spending money in pills and drugs and physical health care, chiropractic, massage, whatever therapies you're engaged in, just try to feel better because you're not feeling well. It's costing you a lot. Maybe you're spending too much money on coping mechanisms, or what I call Band-Aid solutions. There's a lot of coping mechanisms that we turn to when we turn on ourselves and we don't feel good about ourselves. And you're familiar with those for yourself or for other people, but you might also be turning to therapy and counseling and self-help and personal development courses and things like that, spending money hoping that you're going to feel better and just you'll be happier. And when you get happy, or when this happens, you'll be happier. When you have this, then you'll be happier. When you are earning more, you'll be happier. When you lose weight, you'll be happier. And so you're going through all these things, and it's costing you a lot of time and a lot of money. And then think about your relationships and what it's costing you. Just think about the mistakes you've made or the price you had to pay because you were mistaken about who you were and who you're not, and it caused you to make mistakes in relationships. I made a lot of mistakes in relationships. I really struggled with relationships because where I came from, extreme trauma, childhood abuse, alcoholic, violent parents. It was a terrible situation to grow up in, and you could probably relate to that. So obviously I wasn't great in relationships. Well, man, I spent a lot of money on divorce, I spent a lot of money on counseling and therapy. It cost me a lot, literally financially and emotionally, and you could probably relate to that. So this mistaken identity and all the money and time it's costing you to just become your true self, it's very expensive, but becoming your true self is actually quite priceless. And so I want you to think and imagine, how much do you think you could be earning? I'm not saying if you're making 80, you're going to go to 2 million, but just if you're making 80, there's probably a number that you say, I think I could earn at least 150. If you're earning 280, I bet you any money you probably think you can probably earn 500. Okay, just think about how much do you think you could be earning, and whatever number you come up with that you think you could be earning, you could be earning. I want you to imagine, the changes or the improvements that you'd like to see in your life, and because those changes aren't coming to fruition, and you're not earning what you think you can, just think about how much this mistaken identity is actually costing you. One thing for sure, you're mistaken about your potential. And you got to get this straight. Your current situation is not a reflection of you. Your current situation is a reflection of your conditioning, of your upbringing, of how you were treated when you were a kid. It's a reflection of your mistaken identity. You got to get that straight. You got to hammer that idea home. All right? Your current situation is not a reflection of you. It's simply a reflection of your conditioning and your upbringing. And frankly, if you were brought up a different way and treated a different way, you wouldn't have done some of the things you did. You wouldn't have been making the mistakes you've been making, and you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in. So you gotta get that. You gotta get that straight. Okay. Listen, when you discover and uncover your mistaken identity, you'll get the truth of who you really are, and the truth shall set you free. Listen, if you haven't got my book yet, get it now. This is literally a reading course. It's literally a 30-day transformation. It's not just a book that you read. It's a book that gives you instructions on how to discover and uncover your mistaken identity, let it all go, get locked into the truth of who you really are so you can enjoy life more. So go back to the email, click the link, or go to my website, dougdane.com. Get this book. Don't just buy the book. Get the book and read the book and get a hold of me. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.